Hey everybody, Patrick Hostis here. There is just no end to the stupidity.
In summary, the president's overall health is excellent. Okay, with that, I'll take some questions.
How much weight have you suggested the president lose?
Can you assess the president's mental fitness for office?
Cholesterol over 220. Do you hope to get it under 200?
Are you ruling out things like early onset Alzheimer's? Are you looking at dementia-like symptoms?
Did he need to be sedated at all? He does have heart disease, is that what you said?
The 25th Amendment, a lot of people in the country have been talking about it. Do you believe he is fit for duty?
Sometimes it sounds like he has the sniffles when he's talking.
Do you have a life expectancy range for him based on his results? Is he limited to one scoop of ice cream now?
So is there anything you're keeping from us for privacy reasons?
Are you confident of his prostate health?
I think a waist measurement for the president, his weight, I think he's at 239, right? I think it's just shy of obesity.
It's recommended that most baby boomers get screened for hepatitis C. Did you do a hep C test, or has he had one previously?
Some of the president's friends have told reporters in the past that they think he's a germaphobe, that he washes his hands obsessively. And have you seen any indication of that type of behavior?
Stroke concerns?
Excuse me?
You just said there were stroke concerns as well?
No.
What about potential diabetic changes as a result of his weight?
When the president has colonoscopy at the next physical, will he be sedated? Does this president ask you about how he could follow his predecessor's example to be as fit as Barack Obama was? Do you keep a tally of how much golf the U.S. president plays?
Did you address drug addiction?
Drug addiction?
I mean, any other drugs?
Yeah, no, he has no drug addiction.
So I was thinking today, I went to the hearings yesterday about all those gun bills in Washington State. And, there was, before we went in there to listen to the hearings, everybody's in a line waiting to get in because there was thousands of, like 1,000 people there and it could only fit so many. And, most people were keeping to themselves and that, but there was this group of certain people, and not everybody in this group. It was some anti-gun group, and a lot of, some of the folks in there were really nice and polite and things like that, but there was like this core group, and I don't even know if they were really part of the group or just hanging out with them. But, and I was there with my daughter, or both my daughters, my 11-year-old and my 16-year-old, and I wasn't wearing anything, offensive or anything like that. I was just wearing that green coat I have that says Iraq War Vet on it. That was it. And like this one lady kept staring at me like the whole time. My daughters noticed it and told me about it, and it was just like this mean old lady or whatever, and glaring at me like I'm like the most evil thing on earth. And I wasn't wearing anything that said like NRA or anything like that. I was just simply there to hear, to listen to what was being said. And finally, when we sat down, this lady just keeps glaring at me, turning around and glaring at me. And the look wasn't one of, just kind of like, ugh, like that or anything. It was hatred. It was pure hatred. She didn't know anything about me. Doesn't know the first thing about me. And I'm sitting there with my little girls. She care less. She turns around with that scowl on her face and just stares at me because she wants me to know how anti-gun she is and what a disgusting murderer I am because I want my gun rights left alone, It's just, but it dawned on me, and the reason I'm telling you the story, it dawned on me that I don't think I've ever seen America as separated as I do right now. And it really crystallized that fact to me yesterday when I'm watching the hatred, and not just on that lady who kept glaring at me, but between different groups and the animosity, between the NRA folks and the anti-gun folks and things like that. It was just, kind of toxic in a lot of ways. And it was a really good analogy for the entire country because that's what's going on right now. The hatred that's out there. I mean, look at the insanity about Trump. Every single day, some new bullshit. Excuse my language, but it's bullshit. I mean, these idiots on CNN with their, oh, he said shithole. No, he didn't say shithole. Oh, by the way, they said it's shithole like 170-something times in one day on their crappy news network, FYI. But with these propagandists, CNN and all that, they're basically the cheerleaders for the downfall of America. And with all this fake garbage they pump out, and it's just created so much animosity in this country now. And for the first time in my life, I'm really wondering, is America going to survive as a country? And I'm serious about that. I really think that there's a possibility it won't. How can you know, what was it? I think it was Abraham Lincoln that said, you know, a house divided cannot stand. I mean, we're very divided right now. And it's like every lie about Donald Trump is believed without question by a large segment of the non-critical thinking part of America. And that's really dangerous. I mean, when we have one group that's operating on one set of facts and the other group that's operating on what they think are facts, but it's completely false, you know, with the media manipulating everybody and trying to control the agenda. But the bottom line is, I mean, even in the 60s, you know, 1968 and all the protests and all that, I don't know if things were quite as bad as they are right now. And, like, every day it gets worse. And, you know, I'm really curious of what you, my followers, think. Do you think things have gotten so bad we've kind of reached max Q with this, you know, with the animosity in this country? Or do you think that we'll work our differences out in a constructive way and slowly, hopefully, repair the divisions between us? I would like to believe that's what's going to happen, that we are going to, you know, unify together, but I really don't know if that's possible. We're so divided on everything. Everything is politicized. Every single damn thing is politicized nowadays. And what happens with this politicization of everything and calling everything racist or misogynist or whatever is it kills truth. You cannot say the truth anymore. If you say the truth, you're a racist, you know. And how can you possibly have constructive conversations in an environment like that? I just don't see a way. I just don't see a way. But I wanted to, you know, I don't want to depress y'all or anything like that, but, you know, I have to say I'm getting a little depressed over how things are turning out in this country. I really thought things would be a lot better once Trump got in, and I thought that slowly people would just get used to it. But it's just not turning out that way. And Donald Trump, you know, to be fair, Donald Trump's made his share of mistakes as well. Not nearly as many as are happening on the other side, in my opinion. But, I mean, it really doesn't matter what he does. He could cure cancer tomorrow and they'd be bitching about why he didn't do it the day before. You know, it's really nothing he does will ever be right for these people, and that's a simple fact. But, okay, so let's fast forward a few years now. Let's say they get another Obama 2 in office. What do you think's going to happen? I mean, they're going to probably try to undo everything Trump did, just like Trump did to Obama. You know, they're going to try to undo it, and then they're going to try to get rid of the Second Amendment, and, you know, it's just going to go on and on and on. And one thing I learned yesterday about being in a state capitol listening to these gun bills, there are a lot of people, a lot of these people on the anti-gun part are completely ignorant about weapons. And I'm not trying to be mean or insulting. I'm just being honest. They don't know a thing about weapons. They don't know the difference between semi-automatic, fully automatic. This lady, yesterday I was listening while we were waiting to go into the hearing, and she's talking to some pro-gun guy who was wearing a Vietnam vet hat, and you know they're kind of arguing. It was a good argument though. They weren't like yelling at each other or anything. It was fairly constructive. But she kept making remarks like, well, you can go down to the local store and buy a fully automatic weapon easier than you can get a driver's license. That's not right. Okay, anybody out there who knows about guns, is that a true statement? Can you go down there and buy a fully automatic gun, you know, easier than a driver's license? No, absolutely not. But that's the set of, that goes along with what I was telling you before with the fake news and the garbage and the fake facts and all that. These people hear a little scrap of information and assume it's real. And these are the people that were, you know, some of them, not all of them, but some of them were the people speaking at this hearing, and the politicians are listening to, oh, well, you know, that's interesting, yeah, we need to, it's like, it's total garbage, you know, and of course during these hearings people throw out figures that support their side. I mean, who the hell knows if they're right or not? It's just so frustrating. It's hard to, I mean, you really need wings to stay above the bullshit, you really do. But ultimately, the point of this video is I really want to get your guys' thoughts on America right now, on the situation we're in right now. Do you think America will survive this? And that's the ultimate question I have for you. Do you think America can survive this type of division, this constant division that's going on, and the fake news and all the problems we've got? Do you think the United States will survive? please let me know in your comments below. This has been Patrick Hostis.